everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be doing my stalker story. Like I said, I wanted to put more personal videos on my YouTube and not just make all makeup videos because the like story time videos is what I've been watching a lot of lately. It's been my favorite type of video to watch, and I've seen a lot of stalker stories and I'm just like, you know what, I have one that's really interesting and really different from a lot of the ones that I've seen. And you know, at that point in my life when it was going on, I really had nowhere to turn to. Like, I honestly thought I was the only one with a stalker, but which, I mean, come on, let's get real, I was not the only one with a stalker. It's very, very common, I guess. So yeah, my hair is up for the first time probably ever in a video, but I did get my tragus pierced and I can't have my hair down for like 2 weeks, but yeah, it's really, really pretty. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to do a whole video on piercings that I want to get this year and everything, so yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm finally making this video. And I'm finally able to be comfortable talking about this situation. It happened a couple years ago, and I'm actually moving away from the city that I live in right now, so me and this guy are not even going to be in the same city anymore, so that gives me more motivation to actually, you know, talk about this, even though, yeah, most of it happened online and it was mostly cyber stalking, but I knew this guy in real life. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with a backstory before I get into the main event. I'm just gonna make it into a timeline, I guess. So back in 2012, I had taken a whole year break from guys. That was my New Year's resolution back in 2012, was to take a year off of dating, off of being in a relationship, off of just like talking to guys and caring about guys. Yeah. So I wanted to focus on myself, and by the time 2013 came along, it was probably like around June, and I just was like, you know what, I'm bored. I want to talk to someone, I want to meet some guys, go on some dates or whatever. So two of my friends and I had joined this what's it called, like a dating app, I would say, and no, it wasn't Tinder. Tinder did not exist back then, unfortunately. I don't know if that's unfortunate, but yeah, Tinder didn't exist back then. So me and my two friends joined this dating website, and yeah. So I was talking to two guys on there. The first one I met, spent most of the summer together, but both of us really didn't want a relationship. We were going out all the time. We would spend a lot of time together and everything. So me and him became really close, but then towards the end of the summer, I noticed that he'd started to pull back and not talk to me as much. So that was completely fine. And I was still talking to this other guy, and he wanted to meet up with me, and this was about August 2013, and I'm just like, okay, sure, let's meet up. So we meet up, and honestly, like, I had told him from the very beginning, I'm not looking for a relationship, I want a friendship, and that's pretty much all that I'm looking for at the moment. Things could change in the future, but as of right now, this is what I want, and this is what I don't want. So when we met, you know when you meet someone and you know that you have a connection with them. Like for me, like when I first met my boyfriend, well actually I met him after like 20 years, okay, because we were childhood friends, but we hadn't seen each other in so long. Like after 20 years we met, we had this like instant connection, this like spark between us, and for me and this guy at that point, there was nothing there. There was like nothing. I could see him as being like a friend, but that's it. Like I didn't see anything else. We didn't have a lot in common. So a couple days after we first met, he asked me if he could add me on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, you know, that's cool, you can add me on Facebook. And about 2 weeks later, he added me, or he followed me on Instagram, which I thought was kind of weird because my Instagram at that point was not connected to any of my other social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, and yeah, so none of that was connected to each other, so you'd have to kind of like look for me or try to find me or whatever, and I don't even think it had like my full name or like my Facebook name on there, so I really don't know how he found me, but he did. And I was like, okay, maybe that's a coincidence, whatever. And you know, we hung out a few more times, and I had noticed like stuff I would post on my Twitter. I didn't have any like new Twitter followers or anything, but stuff that I would post as my tweets, there's mostly like poems and like what's it called, like song lyrics, you know, like typical girl Twitter. So like he would post the next line of the song on his Facebook, and I was just like, oh, it's kind of weird. That's coincidence, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of brushed it off at first, then it just kept happening and happening and happening, and no, like he was literally going onto my Twitter every day, reading all my tweets and like reposting them on Facebook, and he was not following me on Twitter. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So I started noticing it after like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, this is not a coincidence anymore. This is like actually getting weird. We were still talking, we were still texting every day or whatever, and he had like asked me out a few times, and I was just like, no, you know, I told you I don't want a relationship. I just want to be friends. And at one point he's like, he basically like confessed that he really likes me or whatever. And I had told him, okay, you know what, we can still, like, I don't feel the same way, but we could still be friends if that's what you want. If not, then I completely understand, you know, I'm not gonna force you to be my friend or whatever. And he was like, no, I think we could work it out. I think we could still be friends. So I'm like, okay, cool. And yeah, so the Facebook thing and the Twitter thing, it just, you know, it just kept happening and whatever. I didn't really talk to him about it because I just found it kind of odd. And I had mentioned it to my friend, actually. Me and her were at a park at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she was like, post a Michael Jackson lyric on your Twitter and see how long it takes him to post the next one on his Facebook. Literally like 10 minutes later, he posts the song link to the Michael Jackson song from YouTube on his Facebook, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you guys. Like, I'm like, what is this guy still doing up right now? So yeah, I showed that to my friend. She was like, I want to see what he looks like. So she takes my phone, she goes on his Instagram, and she looks at all his pictures, or not all his pictures, but she like kind of scrolls through them or whatever, and she noticed this username that has like liked all his pictures or whatever. It's not something that I personally would notice, you know, unless it's like my boyfriend or whatever, but I mean, as for my friends, I really don't like look at who likes their pictures. It's just like, it's kind of weird. So I'm just like, okay. So she's like, who is this person? I'm like, I have no idea. She clicks on her page, and on her Instagram bio it says in a relationship with, I will call my stalker Charlie just because that's not his name. So it says in a relationship with Charlie, and I was just like, what? He had never, at this point, like never mentioned her at all. He had never said he had a girlfriend. He just kept, you know, asking me out and, you know, pursuing me, and like this whole time he had a girlfriend. I was just like, are you freaking serious? So I never really confronted him about it, just because I thought that maybe he would eventually tell me. He would actually come to my work and bring me food, and he lives on the opposite side of the city. He doesn't drive. He takes the train and the bus. It takes like an hour and a half minimum to get over here, but he would put all that effort into seeing me and to bring me food at work and everything. And I was just like, okay, this really has to stop. At that point, I was just like, okay, if I was in that situation, would I tell her or would I not tell her? I ultimately decided not to tell her. I decided not to bring it up to him. I just kind of was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop texting you as much. I'm gonna stop replying, but you need to stop, you know, coming to my work or whatever, you know, because that's kind of excessive. So at one point, I don't know what was the final straw for me, but this was around December 2014 and or 2013, sorry, December 2013. He had posted something from my Twitter onto his Facebook, and I was just like, kind of, this is like the last time this is gonna happen. I made my Twitter private, and he went on like a Facebook rampage. Yeah, so I blocked him on Instagram. I stopped talking to him. I deleted him on Facebook. I don't really like being mean to people, so I kind of avoided it at all costs, and I was just like, okay, he can leave me alone now. And he somehow found me on YouTube, started commenting on my videos, and I'm just like, oh my god, of course this has to happen. And then yeah, so things kind of start to mellow down, but then I get a Facebook friend request from this girl, and I forget her name, but her picture looked very photoshopped and just not realistic. She had 400 something friends, and I don't know what led me to do this, but I clicked on her info and I saw the Facebook URL and it was the guy's username, like Charlie's username from the dating app. And I'm just like, what the hell? So I don't respond to the friend request. I notice this girl is following my friends on Instagram, so I tell them, okay, you guys need to block this person. This is Charlie. This isn't some girl. So yeah, I found that really, really odd and really creepy. Like I said, this person had 400 friends. Like, how the hell is that gonna happen? Like catfish, right? So yeah, I found that really creepy. And then the next thing he did was he made a fake account of the guy that I was dating over the summer, and he spelled the last name wrong, and basically he said that I can't talk to you anymore, I have a girlfriend. I'm like, yo, me and him were still friends at the time, we still talked, and I told him, I'm like, did you make a different Facebook account and spell your last name wrong? And he's like, no. And so this guy had the location geotagged on all his messages to me, and sure enough, it was Charlie's house that was sending all of these messages to me. So I block him and I'm like, you know what, this is not you. I know who it is. I know it's you, Charlie. You need to stop stalking me. You know, I know you have a girlfriend. You need to leave me alone, okay? And he's like, no, this isn't Charlie. And I'm like, I can tell because you're geotagged. Like, come on, man, I'm not stupid. At that point, this is around Valentine's Day 2014, and I go out with this guy that I met online and we really hit it off. We go skating and everything, and I take pictures with him and post it on Instagram, and of course Charlie makes a fake Instagram account of this guy and sends me inappropriate DMs and everything, and I eventually decide that I don't know what led me to do it, but I decide to ask this guy even though at this point I know it's Charlie, I decided to ask this guy if this was him or if it was Charlie, and he's like, yo, that's not me, I would never say that. So I was just like, ugh, okay, you were trying to ruin my life right now. So me and this guy didn't work out. We went on another date, but it was just kind of weird after that, after I mentioned to him that I had a stalker. And yeah, so another thing he did, hi! He ended up doing after that didn't work. He actually made another fake Instagram account. At that point I was selling some old makeup and stuff on my Instagram account, and he had actually tried to get me to PayPal invoice him so he could have my address. Like, yeah, he did that. And the very last thing that happened, this happened in April or March or April 2014. He actually started making fake accounts on Craigslist to advertise for casual sex, and this got really out of hand. I ended up getting dick pics sent to me at work. So I ended up calling the cops and mentioning to this guy that I had called the cops on him and stopped this situation from happening. And as of right now, he's called a couple times, but I've never answered the phone. Other than that, he's pretty much left me alone after I had mentioned to him that I had ended up calling the cops. I actually ended up contacting Craigslist to delete my account and to delete the posts. Yeah, it got pretty bad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and you know, I just want to say, if you're dealing with a stalker type situation and it gets bad, please don't hesitate to contact the cops.